This NCAA stuff has got me feeling like a Xerxes channel. I mean, I was supposed to be taking Fridays off. It's funny because I made a post saying I was going to take Fridays off like a month ago. And ever since that post, I've uploaded more on Fridays than I ever have before. But I think I'm going to take Fridays as like my day for like news and just like update and commentary videos. Simple stuff, simple things to talk about, but stuff I do want to cover on the channel. And I do kind of want to track the whole entire California fair to play law in the NCAA and all the states and everything like that, because this, like, honestly, dudes, I think with this passing, we are closer to an NCAA football game than ever before. And I did want to update on this, like, whole entire topic, because a few weeks ago I did make a video on this, talking about how the state of California voted unanimously on a law that would allow college athletes to make money off their likeness. And the only thing that hadn't happened was the actual governor hadn't signed it into law. Well, dudes, it has been officially signed into law, and now it's starting a domino effect. All these different states are adapting the same exact law, dudes, and the NCAA is gonna lose. And guys, I know for like an absolute fact, like I would be willing to bet within the next year, at least 70% of the states in the United States of America are going to have this law signed, something extremely similar. And if that's the case, like, once this is the majority, there's going to be an NCAA football game. There's too much money in it for EA Sports for it not to be a thing. The NCAA is going to eventually have to cave. And dudes, I promise you, I'm like, if I had to give a percentage, I am like 95% sure within the next 5 years there's going to be an NCAA football game. And since the franchise was dismissed back in 2013, we have not been closer for its return. And if this is the case, and the NCAA football game like does come back, I would not be surprised if everything starts trickling in, like a college basketball game, because like the sales they would like get from all these franchises coming back, not only the NCAA football game returning, a basketball franchise returning, they would try to capitalize on the hype of college football games officially coming back. I don't know, dude, I'm just so freaking excited. I do want to talk about this article that was released by Times. It says how California's historic NCAA fair to play law will change college sports for the better. And this has got like so many talking points across Twitter, on the internet, and I just want to go over this article and just once again talk about it and give you an update. I do genuinely believe the state of California, like hats off to you, dudes. You pretty much set off a domino effect that's gonna bring back at the end of this the NCAA football franchise. It says, obviously, after about 10 a.m. on Monday, the California Governor Gavin Newsom actually signed that bill into law. The historic bill would allow college athletes in the state to profit off their name, image, and likeness to sign endorsement deals despite NCAA rules forbidding them. And once again, a lot of people I even saw the Tim Tebow clip of him opposing this bill. I think he was just completely misinformed because this isn't a bill. So many people are just so ignorant, dude. This isn't a bill saying, oh, every college is going to pay athletes. No, this is just them being able to profit from their name. If they want to sign an autograph for $10, let them do it. Like, why shouldn't they be able to do that? Why shouldn't they be able to have YouTube channels? Like, it's stupid. Anyways, Pennsylvania State Representative Dan Miller sensed an opportunity. He phoned the former UCLA college football player Ramogi Huma, the executive director of National College Players Association, who helped push through the California legislation. So this is what I was talking about, dudes. Once I even said in the video prior, talking about this bill before it even was officially signed into by the governor, that if this did officially get signed into law, you're going to immediately see other states immediately take action and have similar, very, very similar, if not, well, it is exactly the same legislation. And as I said and as I predicted, immediately Pennsylvania State Representatives Dan Miller is trying to get this into action as well. As by the next day, 2/20, they already circulated the bill, the Pennsylvania Fair Pay to Play Act, which will capitalize on recent efforts in California to help balance the scales and allow our college athletes to sign endorsement deals, earn compensation for the name, image, and likeness, and sign licensing contracts that will allow them to earn money. And boys, that right there is exactly what we're looking for. If this was possible in all 50 states, there is literally zero reason and zero chance that NCAA football would not come back. And as mentioned in the last video, the law was passed 73-0 in the Senate, 39-0 without a single no vote. So that shows you how in favor actual politicians are in favor of this bill. Talks about how these two governors join the ever-growing chorus of state and national legislators who don't understand why college athletes, many of whom participate in sports that deliver millions of dollars to the school's bottom lines, can't receive a fairer economic shake. To them, restricting compensation amounts to discrimination amongst college athletes. It's near impossible to name any group of people who are prohibited from financially benefiting from their unique talents. If the NCAA rules won't change this, California, where the legislation goes into effect of January 2023, has shown that lawmakers can step in. Once again, the NCAA, a multi-billion-dollar business, like, they wouldn't change this on their own more than likely. I think maybe eventually they're going to have to, obviously, if all 50 states, like, come in. Especially the big states in terms of college football, like, obviously, California already in it, Florida, Alabama, the big schools, maybe Texas, those big college football states. There would be way too much money invested in those states for the NCAA not to change these laws. And NCAA is still standing firm, like, saying that California schools and other, like, states adopt this bill won't be able to play in, like, postseason competition, and at that point it's going to be lawsuits, but we'll get into that later in the article. It says California's success is sort of ringing the bell. We need to tilt this conversation into common sense reality, which is 100% completely what I agree with. Now, the future starting California, it's time to roll. Let's get Pennsylvania into play. This is the governor of Pennsylvania. But the only problem is the fact that this legislation won't go into effect for another 4 years. But I really do predict the fact that the NCAA is going to change this before then. Now, unfortunately, if this is the case and the NCAA, like, stands firm until every single freaking state passes a law similar to this, it's going to be 4 years. But, like, if there's not a college football game by 2024 officially licensed and created by EA Sports, I will give away my toe. There you are. Anybody that's a cannibal out there, you can have my toe. Also on Monday, the Democratic leader of the Florida House filed a bill mimicking the new California law exactly the same, and so is New York. So New York and Florida, two huge states, especially in terms of college football. Well, New York, not necessarily. They don't have any college football teams aside from Buffalo, but you get the point. Two huge states adapting the same exact law as California and Pennsylvania. Right then and there, dudes, like 4 states within a week of one law being passed has adapted the same one, and it's exactly what we want to see. And as they say, I imagine you'll see dozens in the next few months. You have guys like LeBron James, who's a huge advocate of the same exact thing. So pretty much the only people that don't want this bill to go into effect is the NCAA, because they know it's going to hurt their pockets. I don't even think, would it even hurt their pockets? I don't understand. Like, I genuinely don't see the logical reasoning why the NCAA is still behind this, because, like, a player themselves making money like a brand deal isn't gonna hurt them. I don't get it. It says the NCAA and college sports conferences are stubbornly refusing to embrace. Now, the only potential problem I could see from this and the, like, potential of creating a new college football game is the conferences themselves, which are obviously powered by the NCAA, are once again, like, refusing to embrace this new law. Now, I don't know how they'd go about getting the actual licensing from the conferences and the NCAA if they're going to stay stubborn within this. But I think, once again, eventually they're going to have to cave in. They're going to have to. Now, it's so freaking stupid, dude. They send, like, an argument back, and they send, like, all kinds of crap, says they'll bring chaos to college sport and make unattainable the goal of providing a fair and level playing field. Screw you, dude. Once again, literally a player making money from his name is not going to change the level playing field whatsoever. Now, once again, the argument rings hollow since college sports already sits on an uneven playing field. The belief that talent is fairly evenly distributed across the country is blatantly false, which is so true, dude. This is why you see the Alabamas, the Clemsons, the Ohio States always up there in the top of the top, because, like, the best players go to some of the best schools. And the reason even, like, very conservative states like Alabama, like, I think would eventually bring the same exact law into effect is because this is such a driven state. I live in the state of Alabama, and it says if Alabama starts losing recruits to UCLA, since players can sign endorsement deals in California, Alabama can keep up with California by changing its laws. So I know for a fact that football is so freaking important in this state, even that it's so conservative, that if something like this actually happened, that would trigger one of the most conservative states in the whole entire United States to bring a bill like this. I don't even think it's like, that's not even like a conservative bill. I don't understand. Anyways, so Pac-12, the big boys, in a statement, said that California's new image and likeness law will lead to the professionalism of college sports. F off, dude. Now, this is what pisses me off the most. The same day that the law passed, the NCAA argued in a letter to Newsom that the California law was unconstitutional. You know what's unconstitutional? Prohibiting the rights of human beings to making money from their own name. Now, legal experts However, question the evidence for this claim, since no federal law prohibits college athletes from receiving an endorsement deal. It's just true. There's no goddamn federal law saying this is not a possibility, saying that it's illegal. It's just the goddamn governing body, the NCAA, stupid. And it says in the same letter, the NCAA said that the law would eventually result in California schools being unable to compete in NCAA competitions. F off, dude. They know this is a front because they know losing the USCs, the Stanfords, the Cals, the UCLAs would lose them way too much money. And if just so far within a freaking week, if the schools from California, the schools from Florida, Pennsylvania, and New York couldn't compete in NCAA competitions, you know how much money that is lost? And that would know, since it's like a state law too, and it's a governing body, like they're not actual like government. Like so many potential lawsuits would be filed in an instant like this that like I would just love for the NCAA just to completely just fold. Like I hope they just stand strong this whole entire situation and the lawsuits are filed, and instead of like them just giving in to this whole entire situation, they just fold. They completely fold as an organization, and the Power 5 and the college football schools like just completely govern themselves. And as always, history repeats themselves. It says NCAA made similar threats some 35 years ago, only for the strategy to backfire. The organization threatened to ban a group of schools who wanted to negotiate their own football television contracts. Once again, something that would make somebody else, aside from them, their own money. The schools sued, and then the Supreme Court ruled in their favor. So once again, history repeats himself, and the same exact thing would happen again. Now, it's just ignorant. It's just so stupid and just pisses me off. And once again, where's this I want to talk about? Right here. She points to former UCLA gymnast Caitlin Ohashi, whose jubilant floor exercise routine went viral in January, attracting over 64 million YouTube views. What other human on the planet wouldn't have been able to monetize their 60 million YouTube followers? Says Skinner, only the student athlete. That's so true, dude. You know how much money was generated from 64 million YouTube views? In my estimation, that's probably at least $500,000 made from that video. How much money that went to the person who actually did that routine? None. That pisses me off. And that right there I want the NCAA to completely fold. That's my opinion. That's what I want to happen. But all this was just said, just the fact that, like, if all this does go through, and what I think is going to happen, this all was said, NCAA football, once again, in my opinion, 95% will be a football game once again within the next 5 years. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Do you disagree with this? Like, do you, for some reason, think there's anything logical that should be against, like, actual college athletes from being able to have endorsement deals, be able to sell autographs, be able to make their own goddamn YouTube videos and make money from them? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe if you are new, turn on the notification bell if you haven't. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. God bless and peace.